What's going on, guys? Chew here with another War of the Spark deck tech for you. Before I get into today's video, I just want to thank everybody for the response I've been getting on my previous videos from War of the Spark. I almost have 1,000 views on both, which is crazy, and I got 10 subscribers from the last one, which is so insane. I know a few people mentioned that my mic was a little quiet, so hopefully the sounds in this one are a little bit better. But I am just going to bring you guys over to a little graphic that I made here to kind of explain the combo before I get into the deck. Alright guys, so here we are. I saw this deck on Reddit and I knew I had to make a video about this combo because it's so insane. So essentially in the early game, we're going to use cards like Stitcher's Supplier and Diligent Excavator and fill our graveyard. Hopefully we can get a Rona in there, and hopefully two. And then we want to play a Teshar. Teshar says whenever you cast a historic spell, return creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less. And then Rona says when Rona enters the battlefield, you can exile a historic card from your graveyard. And then you can cast cards exiled with Rona anytime you control Rona. So ideally we want to get these Chamber Sentry and Mox Amber in our graveyard. And they're 0-cost historic spells. So we can play a Teshar, get a Rona, exile one of these cards, and then cast it. And then we'll have a second Rona in our graveyard. And when we have both of them on the field, they'll legend rule, and we'll get the new Rona. We want to keep the new Rona, and then we'll get a new historic card from her. And then we can cast that historic card and get back our original Rona. And then we can continue looping these back and forth. If you have 2 Mox Ambers, you can actually get infinite mana. And if you just have the combo pieces, you can kind of go through your deck and you can either mill your opponent out with Diligent Excavator, or you can get back your entire deck. There's lots of cool stuff you can do. It's a little bit tough to explain. I tried my best though, but we'll go through the deck real quick and then we'll get into some games and hopefully you can see this deck in action. All right, guys, so here's the deck. I have it set up kind of how I want to talk about it here. So first we kind of have our draw spells here. First we have Fibblethib. He's just a 1/1 who when he enters the battlefield, he'll draw us a card. This is great just as an early activator for our Mox Amber. He's just a really efficient creature right now, and he's super great with the historic triggers. We have Guild Globe, who's kind of a budget version of Fibblethib, since I don't have 4 of them right now. It is still a historic card and fills the same role. Notably, though, the Guild Globe can be sacrificed for 2 mana of any color, so it can fix our mana a little. And then if we are trying to get back our Chamber Sentry with it, we can make red and green mana, which we don't have access to otherwise. And then we have Militia Bugler. Militia Bugler lets us look at the top 4, and we can reveal a power 2 or less creature and put it in our hand. This allows us to get any creature in our deck as they're all under 2 power, so you can kind of keep going through your deck and looking for stuff. And then in the early game, we kind of want to fill our graveyard up a bit with our combo pieces. So we have Stitcher's Supplier. When it enters the battlefield or dies, you can put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. A lot of people don't know what you're doing with this deck, so often they'll kill the Stitcher not knowing you want to fill your graveyard, which is really nice. But he's just a good 1/1 chump blocker early. And then we have Diligent Excavator. Whenever you cast a historic spell, target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. So usually we want to be targeting ourselves, but we can use this as a win con if we have one out and we do the combo. Every time we cast a historic spell, we can mill our opponent for 2 and you can mill their deck. Then we have some Planeswalkers, which are necessary to be playing with our Mox Amber to activate that. So we have Dovin, Hand of Control. Dovin makes your opponent's artifact, instant, and sorcery cards cast 1 more. And then you can basically fog a permanent of your opponent's. He's kind of just a budget version of their next card that we're going to talk about, which is Teferi Time Raveler. Unfortunately, I only have 1. Ideally, we'd be playing 3 in this deck over the 2 Dovins. But Teferi is one of the best cards from War of the Spark. He says each opponent can cast spells only anytime they can cast a sorcery. So on your turn or anytime like in between phases or whatever, your opponent can't cast spells, so they actually can't do anything about your combo when you're going off. And then his -3, return up to 1 target artifact, creature, and enchantment to its owner's hand, draw a card. That's really good to just draw you through your deck as you're going, and it's a great tempo play. You can return creatures to their hand, and then they'll have to recast them, which slows down your opponent's deck. I wish I had more, but unfortunately I only have 1. And then we have Sorin. Sorin's good just for getting a little bit of life with the life link or the ping, but then also his -X, you can get back combo pieces if you need them, get back Stitcher Supplier or Diligent. Sorin's just a really efficient Planeswalker, really good right now. I kind of went over our combo pieces, but I'll quickly talk about how they work just as cards as themselves. Mox Amber's awesome. You can play it for 0, which is insane. And then if you have a legendary creature planeswalker, you can tap for 1 mana that creature has. So if you have a Lazav out, you can tap for blue or a black. Or if you have like a Sorin out, you can tap for a white or a black. And then next we have Lazav. Lazav enters the battlefield. He Servels 1, so you can mill yourself a little bit. And then he can also, for X mana, copy a creature from your graveyard. So it essentially allows you to have some extra Teshars in your deck. If you have a Lazav, you can pay for and then make him a Teshar if you have a Teshar in your graveyard, or a Rona if you have a Rona in your graveyard. Just really efficient. And then he has a 1/3, so he can block early. And then Rona, I kind of already talked about, but you can exile a historic card from your graveyard, and then you can cast card exile with Rona. So you can just get like Mox Ambers back from your graveyard. You can get Chamber Sentries. You can even get your more expensive Planeswalkers and cast those if you have the mana. And then for 4 mana, you can pay and tap her. And then you can exile the top card of your library, so you can also cast that. Then we have Teshar, who I already explained, but he's just a 2/2 flyer who allows us to get our combo pieces back. And lastly, we have Chamber Sentry, who's a creature you can cast for X. Usually it's going to be X for 0, but you can cast him as an early blocker if you really want to, because we can't get him back from the graveyard. But he enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each color of mana. So if you cast blue, black, white, he's going to be a 3/3. And then you can pay X and remove X counters, but that isn't really relevant. But you can get him back from the graveyard if you really want to. He's more so just a combo piece. And then lastly, as far as lands, we just have all the Esper lands. And I switched out 1 Glacial Fortress for a Swamp, just because we do have a lot of black early plays, and we're mostly a black-blue deck splashing white. Hope that didn't go on too long, though. We'll get into some games. I've actually been having a lot of success with this in Best of 1 ranked. This deck's been really awesome for me. We'll see if we can get some wins here in... I'm currently in Diamond 4, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, guys, so here's our first game here. Hopefully we can get a combo kill here. That'd be really awesome. This is a quite good hand. We have Diligent, we have early draw, and then we have some Planeswalkers. We can also mill ourselves with this. I think it should be really good. We also have all our colors. I need to get a new webcam because it keeps blowing me out, and then I need to focus the exposure here. There we are. Come on, opponent. Let's go. There we are. So we'll keep our hand here. Turn 1, we'll probably just go Hallowed Fountain tapped, and then we'll play Diligent, I believe. Oh. Fortunately, we don't have the turn 1 black source for that, but that's not a bad one there. Growth Chamber Guardian. So I think here we're just going to play Fibblethib. He can chump block that Growth Chamber as well as he can draw us hopefully a 3rd land. Yep, there we go. I think next turn we actually want to go Stitchers and Diligent. We don't really care about our life total too much, so we can take 4 here. I'd rather leave Fibblethib up if we get a Mox Amber. Rona's not bad. We do need some stuff in the graveyard to activate her, though. Here, actually, we can go Dovin, and then activate Dovin on his Growth Chamber Guardian. This will just allow us to stall out the game a little bit. He is on Bant, so I don't think he'll have any hasty creatures. We'll see here what he's on. Ideally, we can get like a Mox or something in the graveyard and then use Rona to exile it, and we can cast it. There's a 4th land for us, which is pretty good. We'll activate Dovin.
I'm well equipped to deal with nuisances like you.
Some of the Planeswalker lines are so good. We'll play Stitcher here. And then maybe we can get something for Arona? Nope. That's okay. We can play Bugler here. And we can look for a Teshar. That's another Rona, which is fine, but not ideal. I think we just want this Bugler. And then we'll leave Fibblethib up. We do block with the Stitcher. We do get to mill over some more cards, which is really nice. I'm not too worried about him killing Dovin. He'll probably just attack with his guys, and then we can block whichever ones. He probably just adapts whichever one is blocked by Militia, which is fine. So there's a second Rona, and we do have a Chamber. Now we just need our Teshar piece. He does have the gang all there. I don't hate playing Excavator and then playing Bugler. If we can draw Teshar and then another land, we can go Teshar Guild Globe. Nice, there's the Teshar. We'll activate this on his 4/4.
Looking to elevate yourself? Perhaps a pair of stilts.
Oh, Dovin. You funny guy. Yeah, we just need another land, and then we can go Teshar and Guild Globe. If we don't draw another land, it's going to be a little bit unfortunate, but we still have some time. We're still at 14, and he's just trying to kill Dovin at this point. We'll block, and actually, I think Dovin's just going to die anyway, so that's fine. He can have him.
These results are an anomaly, not to be repeated.
Ooh, so there's a Mox Amber. That's huge. The only thing I worry about is our opponent having counter. But if he does, you know what? We do have a Sorin, so we can always get Teshar back. We're going to mill ourselves here. He might have a Frilled Mystic. Which is pretty annoying, but it's fine. That's okay. So here we have our chump blockers. We don't really care about Diligent anymore. She's already done her part milling most of our library over. We have all our pieces. We just need our Teshar to resolve, or a Sorin in this case. We go to 9. Nice. He did tap out.
Let's slow this down. Trust me.
Excellent. So here we can go play Sorin. -4.
Not stop this fight, but I will finish it.
We bring back our Teshar. Now we do have 2 historic spells we can play. We're going to play Mox Amber. Getting back Rona. Then using Rona, we're going to exile Chamber Sentry. Here we can actually play our Chamber Sentry for free, since we are going to be casting our second Rona. And he has tapped out. So we'll just get a Diligent as a kill piece. We don't really care about what's in our graveyard right now. Yes. Notably for this combo, you always want to target, keep the Rona that's under your other Rona. He just knew the combo, I guess. But yes, the Rona on your left is always the correct Rona. If you target the other one, you won't actually be able to cast the spell you exile with the second Rona that you got back. Unfortunately, it didn't let us combo off, but it is a pretty long combo, so that's okay. We did get the win there, though, which is awesome. But yeah, you can get the win out of nowhere. If you have some of the combo pieces in the graveyard, and then you get like a Militia, you get a Sorin, there's a few different pieces that can come together that can dig you to your combo. I think it's really strong. I think the guy who was playing this on Reddit, which I'll leave a link to that below his post there. This is a great hand. We have all our pieces here. I think a guy was like, he was ranked 43 Mythic or something with this deck, which is pretty insane. Our opponent did mulligan to 6, which is awesome for us. We're going to play a Hog Fountain tapped. Turn 2, we'll play Excavator. We'll probably play Rona on turn 3, to be honest. It's not super ideal, but even if she dies, we don't care that much. And she doesn't need to get anything back. Adanto's more than fine. So we'll play our Rona here. Target ourselves. If we can get a historic spell that we can get it back. It's surprising though, some of these cards like Rona and Diligent Excavator, Teshar, cards that were just like bulk garbage. As soon as you throw them in a combo, they're suddenly like insanely powerful pieces. There's a second Rona in our graveyard, which is kind of spicy. No attacks here. Now that might have been a bit of a misplay. If he kills our Rona, we don't get this Rona back. But I doubt he's playing. If he had like targeted removal, he probably would have killed our Excavator. That's a really good one. So we're gonna go land, Excavator, Mox, mill ourselves. And then we're going to cast our second Rona. Hopefully we can get a... Oh, yeah. There's another Mox in our graveyard and 2 Chamber Sentries. Jeez. This is like one of the most insane draws. We'll cast this Rona. So yeah, here you'll get to see what I was talking about with the leftmost Rona, or the one that's under the other Rona. On Arena, the newest one that enters the battlefield always goes to the left. So yeah, we want to keep this one. And then we'll exile a Mox Amber. And then we just pass the turn. Sorry, I had to think there for a second. Now, ideally, if he doesn't have like a Lava Coil or something, we should win. We should just be able to go Teshar and then Mox Amber, but we'll see here. We're just going to take whatever damage here. We could block with the Excavators at this point, but I'd rather have them on the board just to kill them a little bit quicker if we do get to combo off. That's interesting. Lands on the battlefield can't be the target of spells. Yeah, that's fine. I guess he's a 2/3 flyer. It's not that bad. But here, we should get to combo. Unless he has a shock or something. We're going to target ourselves here. And then since we do have 2 Moxes, we can't actually generate infinite mana. We'll tap the first Mox, play the second. We'll trigger our Teshar here. We can actually just start targeting him, which is fine. We'll target Rona. It'll resolve the ability. Hopefully. We'll keep our leftmost Rona. Rona triggers. Now, we could target Chamber Sentry, but we want Mox Amber so we can get infinite mana. So that'll go into exile, and then we can now cast that spell. He's going to mill some. And then we keep our new Mox Amber. We tap it for mana. And play our other Mox Amber. And repeat this process. It is a little bit slow on Arena. But yeah, we pretty much have an infinite combo now. We can just keep getting our Ronas back. Keep getting Mox Ambers. Keep casting them. And keep milling our opponent. And then you can actually use the infinite mana if you wanted to. You can start... Oh, sorry. Gotta keep Rona. You can start getting back other things. You can get back to Fairy. You can get back... we want Mox Amber. Since you do have infinite mana, you can get back other things. And then if you cast a historic spell from your hand, you can start drawing through your deck and stuff with things like Fibblethib and such. But at this point, we already have a combo established, so we're just going to kill him with that. I'll probably just cut to the end of the combo, to be honest. And hopefully it won't mess it up or anything. It does take quite a while in arenas. It is a little bit slow. But usually once people see that you have the combo, they do concede to it. All right, guys, I am back. I think our opponent actually just left. I milled him out for about half of his deck, generated a bit of mana here. And you can just get kind of like, as long as you loop the Ronas with Teshar, with your Rona, you can kind of just get back whatever you want. So with the Teshar trigger, you have to make sure you target your Ronas. But with any other trigger, you can target essentially whatever you want. So I'll show you here. This is our Rona trigger. Now we can target Teferi. If he has any annoying permanents or whatever, we can take those out. As long as you have mana to cast them, it doesn't really matter. Because your Rona you get back can always get you extra mana with the Mox Ambers. So now I can cast the Teferi. It's still going to trigger Teshar because it is a historic spell. But we do get to still keep going off. And then we can just get a Mox Amber back next time and get more mana. It also is worth noting this combo is very slow, as you can see on MTGA. So you do essentially want to get 2 Diligence out if you are going to mill at your opponent. I am running out of time here. In paper, if you can iterate that you have a combo, an infinite combo, you can just tell your opponent and then say, I'm going to do an infinite combo this many times. You don't actually have to do it like you would on MTGA. But unfortunately on MTGA, there is no like infinite combo thing built in. But we have milled our opponent out, so we can just pass the turn back to him, and we win the game. There we are. I feel like this was a pretty long video, and the combo is a little bit tedious, so I think that game gives you guys a pretty good idea of what we got going on here with the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, though. I had a lot of fun playing this deck, and I can't honestly believe someone built it. I kind of had an idea with Teshar combo, but I couldn't quite get it to work as the set came out. But someone on Reddit made it work, and it's a pretty awesome deck. I think it can be quite competitive. It does need to be refined a little bit, but I think it's in a pretty good place. If you guys did like the video, I'd appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to my channel. It would really help me out. And hopefully in the next few days, we do have Ravnica Constructed coming out, so I think I am going to post a deck for that, hopefully. And I'll probably stream in the next few days as well. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or night, and I'll see you in the next video. Later!